Now let's get more on this now from Samah Hadid, who's Amnesty International's Middle East Campaigns Director, and she joins us now live from Beirut. It's great to have you on the show, Samah. Could you please tell us more about the treatment that Loujain al Hathloul has been receiving?
Well, as been mentioned, Loujain al Hathloul, among other women, including Aziza al Youssef and Iman al Nafjan, have been in detention for close to a year now. They were first arrested in May last year, simply for their women's rights activism and for speaking up and campaigning for their rights to be respected. And what we have received reports of is them facing torture, mistreatment, and sexual harassment whilst being in detention. These include things like flogging, facing electrocution, and driving some of the women to even attempt suicide. So these are very serious and dangerous allegations that the Saudi authorities have yet to fully investigate. And now we can confirm that they are facing charges in Saudi Arabia, criminal charges, simply for standing up and for speaking up for women's rights. This is a dangerous escalation that we're seeing in the kingdom and follows a pattern of the authorities targeting peaceful activists simply for challenging the government's policies.
And on that point of the Saudi government, Saudi Arabia has been under increasing pressure, even from the EU, Human Rights Watch, among many others. Is this having an effect at all, or is it just business as usual?
Well, Amnesty International, as well as other organizations and Saudi activists, have been calling for these women's rights defenders and other human rights activists to be released from prison. We've been calling for an end to this crackdown on human rights and an end to this repression that's taking place inside Saudi Arabia. It was only just recently that member states of the EU have publicly demanded that these women's rights activists should be released from detention. And now we really need to hear more from allies of the Saudi Arabian government, like the US and the UK government. And we need them to demand that these women's rights activists, these peaceful activists, should be released immediately from detention, and the Saudi Arabian authorities should drop these charges. The signal now from the government and from the authorities is that they will treat women's rights activism and peaceful activism as a crime. And we need, as the international community, to stand against that.
Okay, Samah, thank you so much for giving us all that background. Samah Hadid, Amnesty International's Middle East Campaigns Director, thank you.